Hello everyone, I'm Christina Dandar of the Potted Boxwood, and I am here in Atlanta at the beautiful home of interior designer Whitney Durham. And she's going to take us through her,
Hello, how are you?
Her darling cottage here. Tell us about the house.
Yes, so it was built in 1932, and
yeah, tell us about the door.
Yes, so the door, I added all of, it was the Gothic shape when we moved in, which was original to the house, and we added the glass in there recently. I had somebody use the original door but add all of the glass to make the foyer feel a little larger because it's small.
Oh.
And then added all of the glass windows.
And that brings some pretty natural light here too.
Yes.
Okay, tell us about this room that we're in.
So this room was originally the dining room, and being a younger-ish family of four, we didn't really use the formal dining room very much, and we needed another entertaining space, more or less. So we made this a cocktail room.
Well, that sounds good to me,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Come on in, have a cocktail.
So we definitely use it more this way than we did as a formal dining room.
Okay, no, that's fabulous. And I love all your use of color. You're not afraid of color.
I love color, my clients, most of them do love color as well, but in my own home, I embrace it fully, yes.
Embrace the color fully. And I love all of your artwork. You have a lot of fabulous artwork in your house.
Well, thank you. These are Renee Bouchon here.
Oh, I love Renee.
Yes, and then some Sally is one of my favorites as well. Sally King Benedict.
Yes, her art is fantastic.
Yes.
And I noticed you have a lot of is it high gloss that you're using, or what is the paint finish?
This is high gloss. So I do love high gloss. I have high gloss on all of the trim work in here, all of the molding, and the ceiling, just to dress it up and give it a little more elevated look.
Yeah, the ceiling's beautiful. That's so pretty. Just it has that nice sheen that comes off of it.
Thank you. Yes, and the grass cloth on the walls was a good texture contrast to the high gloss paint.
And really quickly, is this I love this little vestibule. Wait, is this all original to the house?
Yes, so I think this was the original master suite.
Okay.
So now it's our guest suite.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Because the master has been renovated and added on in the back that we'll get to later, but
oh, this is
so this
colorful and fun. This wallpaper that you pick up on the valance as well.
Yes, in the valance. And I thought, I don't personally use wallpaper in a lot of areas, but I thought this space was great for wallpaper, being a space that's somewhere I'm not in all the time.
That makes sense. Especially my friend Amity actually mentioned that the powder bath or guest baths are kind of the one place where your guests are alone, and they really can take in, and you can have a little fun with it.
Yes, exactly. And to branch out a little bit, and so I went with more color on the walls in here and tied that into the guest room.
I know, just such a nice flow. So this was the original, master area. And then how many bedrooms total is
So it is a 4-bedroom.
Okay.
3-bath.
And what's our square footage?
About 3,500.
Okay. Well, it is a very impactful cottage, I feel.
Thank you. And we use all of the space. Yes.
All the space.
So that's the thing, when you're in a smaller home, I like to make sure that each room is impactful. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, and just so fun. I love how you layer the different things. It's just really special.
And I love art. Always splurge for the artwork.
Oh, and yeah. So do you just collect a lot of art? How did you start collecting so much art?
Yes. Well, I've just been drawn. Those are some Sally's there. This is a Carrie Penley, this butterfly, and the teal Duncan is the beach scene.
Oh, I love teal Duncan. Let's circle back to get that. That's so pretty.
So then that's the teal Duncan. And I just love art. Adds so much personality to a space, and it really ties in. It pulls in all of the colors, and it just makes me feel happy.
Feels happy. Oh, it's just such a fun to look back through this whole entryway here and coming back through the cocktail area and that pretty blue door.
Thank you. And I love blue. It's one of my favorites. So
this is a beautiful blue. This is almost like just like a high-end Wedgwood type blue. It's really pretty.
Yes, this is Wolf Gray.
Wolf Gray.
Benjamin Moore.
I know my followers love to hear about paint colors. So
that is Benjamin Moore Wolf Gray.
And this is so great. So the second floor kind of was always here, correct?
Exactly. And so this is where my boys, I have 2 boys that are 5th grade and 7th grade, and this is their domain up here. So 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom.
Oh, that's fabulous. And this is kind of their shared bath, right?
Yes, this is their shared bath. And so I have cosmetically updated this space with paint and mirrors and added the shiplap.
I love
and the lighting. The tile I love. I think it's very charming. That was here when we moved in, and I just kept it along with just the white countertops. I thought
clean and simple and clean. And is this their room here?
This is their room.
They share a room, which I think is always good for siblings to do.
Yes.
Coming from an only child who never had a share bed.
Yes. So this is there. So and these beds were from the Southeastern Designer Show House.
That's right. You did a room there.
Yes. And so these beds ended up in their bedroom after the show, and I just love the height. The height here.
It's a great use. You do have a great use of light. I really love to see all your sconces and lamps and layering and patterns. And again, you have a great art collection, which I think is so fun to see.
I love layering textures and patterns, and lighting is so important to
the
a
layered
space.
Rugs too. I just think that's so great to see. This is perfect. And then here's some. This is really interesting artwork.
Yes. So this was Caleb Mahoney, and these were actually in the 2022 Southeastern Designer Show House as well, and those were in the bathroom, and I had those custom painted for the show house and framed for that. And then this is their hangout space.
Oh,
yes.
That's perfect. What a great way to just make it where their beds are together, but they can have room. You know?
So that just gives them a little more space to play versus having both rooms occupied by a lot of beds.
And is this more Renee Bouchon here?
It is.
She really is so talented. It's been fun to watch her over the years.
Yes.
And I love your runner here as well.
Thank you. And I highlighted the sides with blue, of course, that I love blue, the blue trim going all the way down.
And it's great because you have the blue front door and the blue off of this room, but nothing feels like a competition, you know, with all the blue. And I love this. Is this original? The phone?
It is, yes. And so
I figured homes, right?
And I figured I would just leave the phone there
you
because
should. Does it work?
You know, it doesn't work, but I should get a working phone there.
And I think this is such a fun thing to highlight too, is just how you weren't afraid to put the, you know,
art on the door. I know. And obviously I love art, and I've basically run out of wall space, but I love framing modern art in antique gilded wood frames, which I find at antique shops and flea markets. And these are Laura McCarty.
Really pretty.
McCarthy paintings.
And in here, now we're into, this is your living area, essentially.
Yes.
Is this more of like, this is where you watch TV and?
Yes, so this is it's a little more formal. We still watch TV in here, but we probably spend most of our time in the adjacent room.
Okay.
But yes, so this is a piece that Elaine Burge painted for me, one of my favorites here, with some lampshades that are Sally King that are on these circa lamps on the console.
Great. This is fabulous. And another interesting fact we should point out, I love how you painted in high gloss too the window sills.
Oh yeah.
In the interior.
So this is another high gloss shade of blue, kind of a peacock blue that I thought was a pretty flow, mixing shades of blue. I think you can always mix all shades.
Now tell me, how long have you been designing?
So I started my company in 2013. Okay. So about 10 years.
Yeah, that's about when the Potted Boxwood started.
Oh,
that's great.
Yes.
Now tell us about the fireplace with all the logs like this. This is just such an effect. But don't you want to use the fireplace?
I know. I just love that it adds a little organic touch and it's texture. Yes. And I love the black marble around it.
I think it's really stunning. And, and it picks up the black and the TV there, so it kind of all ties it together.
Yes.
And then, so with your thought behind designing this room, did you start with a piece of art or a piece of furniture, or you just knew you loved blue and wanted to layer the patterns in? Kind of what was your thought process?
So I love art. In this space, though, I was thinking furniture layout and went with these velvet. I love velvet. I think it's a classic. It's timeless, and blue, of course. So it was more furniture layout. And then I pulled in the rugs and layering the zebra and the art to try to pull in all of the colors.
All the colors. And that's the thing. You're so fearless with your use of color, and yet at the same time, nothing feels sort of out of place or disjointed. You have multiple colors happening. I love this, and I'm totally about to be in the camera here, but that's okay. I love this whole kind of vignette right here. So pretty.
Thank you. So that's a vintage gilded wood antique mirror. It's probably vintage, not antique, but and then I loved that pedestal.
The pedestal is really beautiful. That's wonderful. And I guess we can circle in this way. So and then this kind of goes into, was this here originally, this part of the house?
It was, but this was actually a screened-in porch when we moved in, which was added on by the previous owners, and we raised the floors and enclosed it. We didn't use the screened-in porch as much because just with weather in the south,
right.
You maybe use it a couple months out of the year. So this is where we spend a lot of our time, and I love the sunroom with the view outside and all the windows, but it was cozy with the sectional. This is where we spend most of our time.
Oh, no, this is fabulous, and I love the brick here because it was outside.
Yes, it was. Yes.
You get to see that, and again, such a fun use of art, just sort of everywhere. Which way? And so you did this, and then was the kitchen this big originally?
So, no, exactly. So it was a galley kitchen originally, and I believe it stopped, about maybe halfway through the island, and it was just a small galley. So the previous owners, when they added the screen porch, they went and added the master suite and enlarged the kitchen. Okay. Yes. Now, I've done cosmetic updates in the kitchen. We enclosed the screen porch, obviously, that we were just in. But so yes, so the banquette, and that was here. I just reupholstered the cushions and added the pillows and updated the lighting, vintage chairs.
And I think a really fun thing to show everyone, if you want to open that cabinet there.
Oh, yes.
Look at how she did the citrus garden. Yes. That's the citrus garden, correct?
It is.
Right?
It is.
In
the Schumacher.
Shells. Oh, it looks so fun.
Thought it was an unexpected pop.
It's a perfect surprise. It's the perfect surprise. Great little bar there, and we've already been having a little champagne. Why not, This is great. It's such a functional use of space, and I love your light fixtures also.
Thank you. So we updated the pendants, and we changed the black granite I kept on the perimeter, but updated the island and lowered it. So it did have a bar height, and I lowered it to counter height. And painted everything. It was all dark wood, and so painted it white, and the backsplash was dark green, and changed that to the classic Subway.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Subway tile and a pretty white kitchen. And the blue, again, your
shade of blue on the island.
And if you kind of look straight, you can see her beautiful sort of cocktail room blue that's there as well. So that's just a really fun surprise. Little fun layers, and you have great cabinet space. It is interesting on the beams in here, and how you can't really take the cabinets to the ceiling because of it.
Right, and so the beams were here when we moved in, and instead of completely changing, raising the cabinets to the ceiling, we just painted everything white and painted the beams white.
Really cohesive. Okay, and this was all added on as well, the area we're going into.
Yes, so this is the master suite, which love art. I love old gilded wood frames, and these are a lot of oil paintings. And I love Turkish rugs.
Lots of pretty ushaks, and I mean, we just really need to admire all of your art in here, and also the fact that you're not afraid to put it on the door.
No, and that just makes this feel more of like, instead of just a gallery wall, a gallery hall. And when you have a lot of doors in one space, it just makes the doors go away a little bit.
I mean, look at all this, and there's that beautiful blue again that we see, and just really pretty oil painting. So you've been collecting for a long time?
Yes, I love, whenever I'm out antique shopping, flea markets, I'm always looking for a good piece of art. So you don't have to spend a lot on art. You can find, if art speaks to you at an antique shop or a flea market, you don't have to just buy from art galleries and commission art.
Do you tend to use a lot of clients' existing pieces of furniture and incorporate them in, or do you kind of like, how do you go about that process? I mean, a lot of things, it seems like you have a very collected home, and a lot of designers just want new, and it's nice to be able to include.
Yes, I love to mix in vintage and family heirlooms, and I actually prefer that almost than buying everything new. So I think it just adds charm and character, and it looks as if the space is curated over time versus just bought all from the mart or one store at one time.
I think it's really evident in your home just how well you know how to incorporate that all together. And this is so neat. I love how you have the painting here with the art light on the easel like that.
Oh, thank you.
That's a really fun addition. And the shades with the valance, with the curtains.
Yes, and I kept those just all simple, one color, just classic clean, which I thought speaks to the outside, which we have a lot of windows in here, and that opens up to the...
And this is a great wall to look at.
Yes, so this is Casey Hughes. Obviously, I love her art.
Yes, it's really, really just beautiful art. And the ceilings in here are really tall. So that's kind of your giveaway that this was the addition, right? But it's still so tasteful with everything. And we are about to go outside because her exterior in this home is unbelievable. I love this. This is so good.
Well, thank you.
All right, so outside we go. Let's see here. And right away, my eyes are drawn to these porch swings.
Yes, so we added these. I thought, added these, and we sit in these often.
Is that fun just to have coffee?
Yes, yes, exactly. And
you did the Haint blue on the ceiling, which
is another southern touch.
Ode to the South,
and it's same on this porch too. This is where this was obviously our master, and then this walks into the kitchen. So
it's really, you really maximized a lot of space here, which is so smart. And you have a pot of boxwood, which we love.
Oh yes, of course. I have some more boxwoods in the yard.
I mean, big boxwood too. I feel like Atlanta just knows how to grow it just so nicely. But this is, what an oasis back here. Do you just spend a lot of time out in the...
We do, we really do. So this patio area was here when we moved in, but the backyard we've done in 2 phases. And the first phase was, it only had a little small patch of grass right basically where you and I are standing.
Okay.
And so in phase 1, we cleared it all out. It was just basically all brush and trees and shrubs and just a big mess. And so we added, at that point we had sod, not turf, but we added sod, and we had a little playground because our kids were younger. And then phase 2 was the pool and the cabana as the kids were getting older.
The cabana is great. I have to give a peek into this. This is your studio, correct?
Yes. So my office is above the garage.
Oh, look how charming this is. And I love how you did the one functional shutter on each side.
Oh, yes.
I think that sort of is really impactful and different.
Thank you.
It's really, really beautiful.
Thank you.
The sun is bright today. It's a beautiful day here in Atlanta. You really couldn't ask for a prettier day. And then you can kind of see all the layers. That's one thing that Atlanta has that Dallas doesn't is the hills.
Oh yes, all of the hills. So we did have to work with that, the topography of the yard. So we did have this hill, so that's why we have the spa was about 5 feet up from the pool, and so
do your boys do big jumps off of
oh,
that?
they do.
I'm sure.
They do.
Sure.
It's there's pros and cons to that for sure.
And it's amazing how well the turf looks. I mean, it looks to me very authentic, especially seeing it on such hilly terrain.
Well, thank you. Yes, it is. It's been great, a great investment of having the turf.
Now, tell me here, this is another kind of chic look at your garage and studio, about the doors. They're so interesting, the shuttered doors here.
Yes.
What was your thoughts process?
Well, and so they add privacy from the street.
Okay.
So does some of the shrubbery we have. But they also add privacy, but then you can open it up and when you're entertaining, and it just makes the space feel larger and lets the sunlight in.
And it gives it a shuttered feel too. So
yes.
it adds sort of a, I don't know, a traditional element, and you have heaters out here as well, right?
Yes, heaters, so that we use this space most of the year, you know, with the exception of when it's really cold, but we are out here
This is great.
a lot.
This is really, really great. I love it, love it, love it. And we need to focus. Look at your cute fridge out here and the cabinets. And have they weathered pretty well being out here?
They've done pretty well. I mean, not perfect, of course. You know, it's hard to keep everything perfect when you're outside, but painted those a shade of blue. And then, you know, you've got the farmhouse sink and the soapstone countertops.
Yeah, is it hard to manage the countertops and with the weather, or?
You know, I selected soapstone because it is pretty durable with the elements, and to me, if it does weather, it's just adds character.
Adds character.
And then we added this little dining space,
Which is so smart. And I love, again, how you use the synthetic grass in between, really, because it stays green all year round.
Yes,
you know?
right, exactly. And I custom designed the table I had the bases made and painted a shade of blue to match the blue in the cabana.
Oh, that's
and then had the glass top so that you could see all of the stone work and the turf.
And the turf, this is great. And so Whitney, you're on Instagram, so I'll link that as well. And you have a website.
Yes.
And
yes.
You do design just primarily in Atlanta or all over?
I would say, I mean, you know, all over. It depends on the project, but
Right.
Primarily in the Southeast.
Okay. Well,
So-
this has been such a treat, and I think it's so much fun to see a designer's own home, because you see your personality and all the color and just vibrance shines through.
Well,
so.
thank you. I loved having you.
We loved being here, and you know, it's just like, this is the type of home you feel like you can cozy up in, but you're also taking in all the texture and design and all of the pretty elements. So it feels like I could just
thank you.
maybe go have a glass of champagne and sit down, which I
Yes.
think we're going to do next.
Yes.
So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Whitney, for taking us
Thank you.
through.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll see y'all later.